the company's chief executive.
Since the beginning of this year, I've spent a lot of time thinking about how to better drive real, long-term breakthroughs, which cannot simply rely on steady but incremental progress. The truth is, I lack some of the skills that make an ideal manager. I'm more interested in analyzing organizational and market principles. I'm not very social. I prefer solitary activities like being online, reading, listening to music, and daydreaming.
Part of an unusual resignation statement there, I'm sure you will agree. But Jiang Yiming has been in the eye of storms at home and abroad over the past year or two. Mike Johnson has been hearing more about him from the BBC's China media analyst, Kerry Allen.
He's been a rising star in China in recent years. He's 38 years old, and he has joined the ranks of tech entrepreneurs like Jack Ma, who founded Alibaba, and Pony Ma, who founded Tencent, to be a billionaire and one of China's most influential people. At the same time, he has come under criticism in the last year because of his handling of TikTok with the US, and when former President Trump was seeking to ban the app, Jiang Yiming was talking about divesting the company, and this resulted in a lot of backlash to him. It's a very sensitive time between China and the US because there was the idea in China that there was a lot of hostility towards the US and that this was an opportunity for a Chinese company to really make its mark on the US market. And he was seemingly backing down and saying, right, maybe we need to work with a US company rather than trying to say, no, we're strong and we're doing well. So a lot of people in China have almost kind of expected him almost being a bit meek in his response and saying, well, maybe I'm not made for this.
I see that he's got the nickname Zhang the Kneeler.
Yeah. You'll often see on Chinese social media platforms like Sina Weibo references to him kneeling or kowtowing because of talking about potentially divesting the company. So yeah, today, looking at the reaction on Sina Weibo, a lot of the comments are saying Zhang the Kneeler's going, or Zhang has finally kneeled down. They see it as him basically almost curling into a ball.
And as well as that, there's also this parallel and fairly long-running story of how the Chinese government has been keen, it seems, to rein in the power of its biggest companies and the people behind them. And obviously ByteDance is a big company. Do you think there are any connections between that and this guy's decision to step aside?
I do, yes. I do think it's possible because with all this political pressure that was exerted on him last year, there were lots of commentaries in state media very much being critical of him, suggesting that he had no backbone. It's very difficult. In China nowadays, if you have a big company, you have to very much work with the state in order to stay popular. I mean, China in itself is a huge market. So off the back of this whole scandal with Trump and TikTok and the suggestion that it might be banned over there, people in China saw his response at the time and they very much kind of thought, well, there are other TikToks. I mean, in China, TikTok domestically is known as Douyin, but there are lots of equivalent platforms, and people saw this as, I might actually just, boycott this platform because there was so much state media criticism towards him and his response.
Okay, and what about the future then? I mean, where are we with this whole TikTok debate in the US? Has a change of administration made the climate easier for TikTok to operate and ByteDance to operate it in the US?
It has, yes. So since, Trump has left power, there is more opportunity for ByteDance to be able to grow in the US. But at the same time, this kind of change of power now that Jiang Yiming has been succeeded by fellow co-founder Liang Ruo, there's a lot of kind of speculation on Chinese social media about whether Jiang Yiming will be able to work in the background and almost kind of make up for the controversies of last year to be able to develop the company domestically and almost repair its image because of these scandals. So I think we're still going to see TikTok for some years to come. There are other platforms like Kuaishou that are starting to appear on foreign stock exchanges, so they're going to also become ones to watch. But at the same time, it has been a success story. I mean, you think of TikTok nowadays, there hasn't been a Chinese platform like this in forever, really, that young people use, that everybody uses. I mean, you think of things like Facebook, Twitter, Google, they're all American. So it's going to be an interesting time.
Kerry Allen there. Let's have a look now what's been happening on the markets. Kerry Leahy from Decision Economics told me it's been a better day on Wall Street.
After a few difficult days, the market rebounded very strongly, probably took its cue from a good weekly unemployment claims report and said that while we've been waiting for the Fed to do something, it's probably still a long way off. And so even though I think anyone who was penciling in what might be the first time the Fed's going to publicly announce we're thinking about slowing asset purchases and move that closer to today, the market said it was not something they had to worry about on the immediate 3 to 6 month radar screen.
And it was a day of things